Welcome back. Summit 7 continues. We've been graced by Immortals 2. We've been graced by many a great Dota teams here as well in sunny Los Angeles, California, and I am unfortunately not graced by the presence of these three gentlemen on the couches with me.
Hi, David.
Hi, Charlie. Hi, Jack.
Hello.
How's it going? Lacoste. I'm good. We got game 2, DC versus VGJ. Not the most compelling game 1. I mean, DC, compelling perhaps in their own right, but the game itself, very convincing, very easily won by them, and well, we'll see if they can do the same game 2. Think we'll see more of the same. Charlie, game 2, DC, look like the better team.
I hope not for VGJ's sake. I hope they figure out, I guess sort of how to draft, what's good this patch.
Meanwhile, they figured it out in the past 5 minutes.
Maybe while they were losing in the last 10 minutes, they spent all that time.
If my theory is correct,
it.
they had 20 minutes to think about this next game.
That's true. Yeah, they had extra time thanks to that lost cause of game 1.
Jack, I saw someone sitting on your computer. I mean, it's not your computer, but you
it
played
kind of
the most on it.
Yeah, I've kept the seat warm. The contours of the chair have begun to fit me.
How do you feel about that? Other people playing on your computer?
I don't know. Maybe they can reset some of that bad karma that I've had. Maybe they'll just, I don't know. Maybe they'll turn things around.
We'll get some of the pros on your account, Jack. It's okay. Don't have to worry about it. But game 2 draft, VGJ. Is IO Sven good in this patch? You asked, they were looking for something that's good in this patch. Is this it, guys?
I mean, IO Sven's great, but unfortunately, DC has the M-God Weaver, which is great against the Wisp.
Yeah, we've seen Wisp struggle to stay alive. Anytime the Weaver finds you, very short work of this hero if you get farmed enough on Weaver. So the instant response coming out from DC with that hero. And it was a first picked IO in the entire draft, so very much a counter pick in its own right.
I like this opening draft from VGJ. I think it's going to be a very different direction from what they've taken before. I think just, obviously what the IO brings to different lanes, the combinations that you can use in that off lane, be it a Bat, be it a Legion Commander, anything like that. I like that this will have a different feel to it than the previous games that they've had. So win or lose, I think this is a step in the right direction.
Okay, we'll see what they look to pair with this IO Sven and how they look to fully round out their draft. We've seen DC again with the likely Bulba Sand King. This guy has been absolutely fantastic on the hero. And they're already looking like they're going to have a scary team fight to play around this Sand King.
I love the opening from DC again. Once again, I love when teams do that. If you are good at something, just stick with it. Also, they have 1-0 advantage, so if this doesn't go well for them, they can just swap to something else.
I think what VGJ really needs here is a way to control the fights, ensure that the Sven can sit there and hit heroes. Sand King and Weaver, both very elusive.
Yeah, so they could be looking at some big ult themselves. Maybe something like the Enigma to take that away from Digital Castle. Not the best offlane pairing with the Wisp. So, but I think they should ideally try to avoid putting themselves into corner with single core. So whoever this mid is, I would expect it to be able to scale a little bit more.
They could do something like LC in the off lane.
It's a good setup for relocate. Also, DC banned Nyx Assassin. I'm not sure why IO Nyx Assassin is not that good of a support duo, so I'm guessing they Silencer banned again, so maybe they want Ember Spirit or maybe Invoker for mid, also possible Enigma once again, if VGJ doesn't ban it or pick it.
A lot of Abed's heroes, like a lot of those snowballing mid heroes, the Quap, the Invoker you mentioned, the Ember, so I guess it's just to protect Abed, and they don't know what, it could be an offlane Nyx of course too. Again, we see the Silencer ban, something that VGJ can run the support or the mid position. See what the next and final ban of this second stage is going to be for VGJ.
Like the background music.
Yeah, I just wanted to say it. It's so chill.
Well, they do decide to ban out the Enigma rather than happening here.
You guys cutting out a little bit?
Yeah, I'm cutting out.
Okay. Production, Rob. Every now and then we're kind of cutting out. If you guys, I know you guys are on top of everything back there, but try and work things out ourselves as we continue forward. Whoa.
It's happening to you as well.
Test.
It's like stutter.
Test. Well, the Rubik out of DC, so looking very similar to game 1.
Very similar or completely similar?
Well, it's a little different for VGJ, so.
There's a Magnus on the table for VGJ. I wonder if maybe they go back to some of the strategies they're running that made them successful with that first star ladder around the turn of the year. And then I think they were the first team at that time to really be using Magnus very extensively. So I don't know if they go back in that direction. There's the natural synergy as well, and being able to be relatively self-sufficient in that offlane and retreat to the jungle if need be. That was kind of the signature of that Magnus and that playstyle from them at that point.
Do you really want to go for that big all-in team fight if you're around that Magnus, or you think it's not too overkill?
I think it's okay. I think they do need some sort of big team fight alt like an RP here for them. Just because you need a way to just lock down like a Sand King or a Weaver in a fight and just allow the Sven to cleave them.
Yep. And he's going to likely go for that Linken's build, so single target is maybe not the best way to go about it. But for now they get their support. They're not going to show too much with their draft. Pick up the Ogre. Good hero to perhaps match Bulba's roaming Sand King, which has been very problematic for all teams at this event so far. So something that can perhaps not be too phased by it and just kind of try and track Bulba's movements a bit with the Ogre.
Also another hero that enables aggressive Sven.
Got the Bloodlust. Also, I mean, any kind of complementary mid-hero with this can be looking to kind of be that second core hero. Kind of mentioned you don't necessarily want to have Sven as your only late game 4 protect 1 style carry.
You know which hero we didn't see quite a while? Tinker. I think teams are forgetting about that hero. Can do so much, especially if you don't have anything to catch him with.
Well, we have been seeing a fair bit of pucks and storms lately, so when that hero comes out, you don't really want to play Tinker.
Ooh, Timber.
Yeah, great against Sven, great against Wisp. I guess pretty good against Ogre too.
Sure.
Sure.
There's no supports to deal with this hero at all. This is sometimes a hero that can struggle when there's good zoning supports. And I want to say, quite likely 4F's here at the offlane. He used to play it quite a bit, or you guys think it may be a mid?
This is probably a 4F hero.
Yeah.
And this goes back to some of the bans you were talking about, not just the mid-heroes, the int mids that we're seeing, but you have the 2 silences coming out that they've banned, and the Nyx Assassin as well that deal pretty well with the Timbersaw. And so I think in both drafts, VGJ showing their supports, fairly early, but I feel like Digital Chaos have drafted pretty well around that. So
yeah, this is so far a great Timber game, because if he goes the offlane, neither Ogre or Io or really Sven can sufficiently zone him out.
And it gives them mid lane possibility as well if the matchup is right.
Yeah, also for DC, there's a good Storm game. There's no Puck, there's no Silencer, there's no Nyx. Also good for Ember Spirit as well that I mentioned before. Especially right now when they have Io and Ogre Mage, that there's nothing to catch them with.
I do worry about the Storm, because if they pick that last, they don't really have a lot of too much team fight. And in the face of the Earthshaker, that.
No, I was saying for DC.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just
you think Sand King, Storm, Weaver, Timbersaw is not enough team fight?
Well, I guess it's okay now. It's just simply because VG doesn't have that much themselves, minus the Earthshaker. And that looks like offlane Shaker?
Yeah, probably RTK's hero. He's always been a bit of a Shaker player from time to time. Ban of the Quap, one of the heroes. Magic damage seems to be something that you want to be picking out for your mid-hero last to try and combat the Timbersaw a bit. There's still the Lina, which we saw last game, although not to great success. The nice thing about the Quap is that you can actually escape those Sand King Rubik ganks if you don't die during the chain stun, whereas the Lina, you're done for. So we'll see what they look to get instead. Side of VGJ. Did have Liquid one game run the IO Sven as a mid. It was like a Miracle Sven mid, but
yeah,
and
maybe a possibility. Maybe one thing that just matches up better against Timber this game.
Yeah, but they can't put Ogre +1 on top lane. That's really shitty lane.
There's still an Ember on the table for
especially
them as well.
against Timbersaw.
And DC has last pick, so they can adjust how they want. Like, if it's Io Sven, they can put Timbersaw mid.
Could pick like a Jug or something that could go mid or safe lane though if you're VGJ. That's like not the worst here against a Timbersaw. But definitely agree that's tough.
The problem is that then at that point you have... Well,
they're
alright, that's
preparing
what
for-
they
It's
do.
the same thing. You get an Ursa and you can go mid or safe lane, like depending wherever Timbersaw goes. But I wonder where this is going to be going.
I think they're probably not entirely sure yet either. They're waiting for DC's last pick.
They were surprised by Ursa. I think the Ursa pick is really good because it's good against Timbersaw and possibly against Ember Spirit as well if it's put on mid.
Yeah.
I don't think... I'd be really surprised if DC Ember's here.
Invoker. Or Storm.
Yeah, I am with you on the Storm thing.
Invoker's bad against either Io Sven or Io Ursa. He could get just run down the mid lane, but definitely fits the overall like synergy of DC's draft.
What about like a Venomancer?
That's
This isn't one of your goals, Jack.
fuck off, Jack. None of your Venom shit.
Alright, so the Lina, I like that as well. Very safe mid laner. Like they don't really have any heroes that can get on the Lina early, that can close that gap early. Maybe you get some, you know, somebody appears out of fog if the Lina's out of position or something, but that's not really reliable.
Just tether and that's it. The extra movement speed. Also, they have 4 melee heroes. There's Sarchaker, Ogre, Sven. That's really bad.
4 melee
especially
heroes
against
into a Timber.
Yeah.
They are 3 of which go Blink Dagger though, so they are going to be like gap closing.
The issue right now I feel is that there's so much pressure on ROTK to do something early. Like if you look at VGJ's heroes, none of them are playmakers.
Remember the music that made you fall in love? That's right, ladies. The boys are back. Your favorite idols bounce back and into a new adventure, working together where they hope to find their one true love. Maybe it's you? Navi, VGJ, and if you order now, we'll throw in K-pop sensation MP. All of this available in one place. Fall in love all over again with great classics like Navi's Say My Lane, Say My Lane. Who Let the Cogs Out by VGJ. Or how about MP's Don't Stop Feeding Anymore? Contact your BTS provider for details on how this collection can be yours.
Good to know VGJ have a backup career should they lose game number 2 because they are facing elimination here, down a game in the lower bracket against DC. And here we are, things starting off for DC and VG Gaming. Bulb again on the Sand King, likely getting aggressive. What are the kind of keys here for the early game, do you feel, the costs for both the two teams?
I think DC's lanes are again strong. Mid lane is strong, top lane is not that bad. Also, again, with the early rotations from Sanking and Rubik, they can set up a good ganks because it's a mid melee hero as well. For VGJ, top lane, what is it? Ursa against Timbersaw plus Io. Ogre's gonna stand on mid, probably just get some help for... who is it?
The Sven mid.
It's Sven Io mid.
Do you rather see the Io mid or top, I guess, is kind of the question with VGJ.
I'd rather see it mid. Ursa doesn't really need too much help against the Timber.
Yep. May even see both supports collapsing on the mid lane a bit more for the VGJ side if they want.
Ooh,
Lane
I like
swaps.
this. Forev's going bottom.
Give him the straightforward lane. Just a shaker down there. Definitely can match up all right in a 1v1 matchup. And RTK is also dodging though, and I don't think this is something that DC are aware of just yet.
Yeah, so that early ward just spotted out the lane change. It was, I think, it was a smart move there by DC to try to give that Timber.
DC's ward is about to spot the same thing.
Musical lanes begins. Both sides could theoretically pick up TP scrolls and continue this lane swapping if they want to.
But I think this favors more DC. Shaker on top lane. You pick Earth Shaker to get the lane back, get some XP, but they can easily dive him, especially on level 2 from Weaver with the bugs and Sanking Stun.
And that lane now meets pretty far away from that tier 1 tower, so it could be hard for Shaker to actually get close, get experience, and play the top lane.
That's triple lane at mid. We saw that during Starleader Eye Invitational.
Dude, this is the new meta, man.
3v2 in the mid lane?
Yeah, 3 heroes mid.
Jeez. Well, Ursa is going to be bottom with the 1v1 he perhaps hoped for, taking on the Timbersaw, but at the same time, this is a matchup where Timbersaw should be able to at least get something out of there and may see some rotations to help him out later on.
When I said they need to focus on Freeze's lane, I didn't mean to go tri-lane mid.
Well, that's what VGJ thought you meant, Lacoste. I'm going to be more clear in these situations. Perhaps something was lost in translation.
Well, DC is matching it. This is how you play Dota now, guys. You put 3 heroes mid.
Everyone wants some of that juicy XP, that 1 bonus melee creep.
I mean, it does mean so much, right? There's so much more emphasis on the mid lane now. Your mid hero is the one that sort of snowballs the game. It's the most, potentially the most dynamic hero.
Yep. But then this happened, so does that mean this game we're not going to be seeing as much emphasis on the mid lanes having an impact because it's the side lanes where those heroes getting 1v1 matchups? Won't those heroes have a bigger impact this game?
Well, someone's going to lose this mid lane one way or another,
okay.
so...
Well, I wonder if Freeze, you know, if he was a little bit upset last game about those roams and he was like, hey guys, you know, you put the same stock in me as they do.
There's the mid lane, perhaps lost. A first blood goes DC's way with the pullback.
But that said, though, if there is this continuous tri-lane and experience split, I think it's something that VGJ are okay with because you mostly just want that farm early on in this event. The levels are a bit more important for Lina to really start making things happen. So I think that's an acceptable trade-off for them if they aren't just giving up kills left and right.
Thanks, Fogged and Dakota, for eating carrots in our mics. Well, the tri-lane is not going to continue. There was a good rotation from Balba. He already saw that they can't do much mid, so he went bottom and pulled, had a TP ready if they dive. That's a smart play from him.
I mean, he went from a 3v2 lane to a 3v3. Now everyone's there, you know? The whole family for both teams. But CS-wise, Sven is doing A-okay in this mid lane, but we'll
Lina
see.
got the first... Lina did get the
no,
first
it was
No,
the
it
tower
was
got it.
shared.
Yeah, it was shared.
Okay.
So, not quite the outcome, but here is perhaps a second kill. The Lina gets stunned from behind, but it is still Ogre. Fairly low. Arbet a bit limited on mana here. Only has one more spell to throw out, and he has to hide himself in the trees, and the kill will get picked up. Ogre goes down, and VGJ will have to scurry away. So another kill for DC. They are just so good at finding these early pickoffs with their support movements. We've seen it time and time again, game after game.
It looked a little sloppy. Fenrir kind of just turned around through the Ignite and looked like he was going to start running after a bed, which is kind of like, I'm not sure if you have the HP to be able to do that there, Fenrir.
It was very smart by Dubu to hold on to the lift and save it for the Sven because he knew he was coming up. Didn't want his Lina get turned on.
CS-wise, you can see VGJ are doing alright. All 3 lanes, their core is getting farmed, but Radiant side also not too far behind. Even with the slight edge in CS going VGJ's way, so they'll be more than happy with those kills they're getting around this mid.
Yeah, you expect Ursa to dominate that lane, but look at the CS 18 against 16. That's not much of an advantage.
He's now got a regen rune, it looked like, at that top rune spot, and that means more continued success here. Very hard to kill this Lina now with the raindrops picked up as well. Or, as you kind of mentioned, holding his own against an Ursa in a 1v1. Just a 3 CS differential between the two.
Yeah, and if this is a matchup happening in the safe lane or in the mid, you know, might have to worry a little bit more about the rotation coming in that can kill off the Timbersaw. But this is the Timbersaw safe lane. He's got to worry a little bit less about that as well. So even though he's, you know, can't just stand up next to the wave, he doesn't have to worry as much about being killed.
Similarly, ROTK is doing just as well in the safe lane against Mason in a lane that, you know, is probably not as favored for him.
Yeah, so both kind of safe lane offlaners are doing maybe better than expected. The Timber, the Shaker. See how big of an impact ROTK can have off of this, whether he gets that fast Blink Dagger up or maybe that we will see those rotations going up there fairly soon, because that is definitely one of the more exposed heroes on VGJ's side.
Is there a tether?
There is one, but he doesn't get the slow off of it as Abed does hit the LSA.
We're just keeping each other honest, right?
Yep. Throw some spells, see what comes of it. IRTK had to TP out from top, so... like he
Damn
was-
God, honestly.
What's happened here? Fenrir, I believe the ward allowed him to be pulled up from the river, it looks like.
Well, Freeze has got to be careful.
Oh, the stun barely clips the LSA from Abed. The body blocks from Bulba. Can he get this kill? Has another stun soon. Will stun his way through. Abed with an LSA. Does he have the mana for a Dragon Slave? He doesn't. Abed making some great plays
Wow,
there.
Wisp will die.
FY? FY?
Oh.
Didn't want to chase.
He didn't want to commit.
Yeah, he could have perhaps chased and guessed on the Dragon Slave, but didn't want to take too much tower damage. Has a regen rune awaiting him, and oh, at the end of the day, Lina, that's a big winner. Without the IO kill. DC just kind of outplaying VGJ more than anything in these lanes, I feel.
I mean, I think it really comes down to the fact, again, that they have two supports that can move and make plays together. Ogre, I mean, he throws out an Ignite, and then he's
Wisp.
basically done.
Wisp follows with a tether. That's the combo.
Yeah, there's... And then the lane setup, like Lina against the tri-lane is a perfectly fine matchup.
Fenrir walks in and just kind of accepts his fate. It's a 5th unanswered kill for game number 2, and
I have to interpret some of these as signs of tilt here. I mean, things we're seeing from Fenrir, like coming onto the cliff, trying to turn back towards Lina. We're just kind of standing there, knowing that there's already 2 heroes that he's envisioned of, with a third potentially coming from the safe lane. I have to believe that the Fenrir is normally beyond this.
they get their first kill as Timbersaw goes down with a lot of dire rotations towards the bottom lane. They TP in and manage to lock him in place to get the Timbersaw kill, but while that's happening, Lina spamming, pressing out the mid lane, and top lane, Mason getting his farm on.
Yeah, I can't imagine you feel good as Fenrir this game. First game, you get Soul Black Hold. This game, you're an Ogre, and there's not a lot of moves you can make on the map.
But the problem will be for VGJ once again in the next 5-10 minutes. How will they initiate a fight? They need Blink Daggers on their heroes. Sven's going for Mask of Madness. I guess the Earthshaker will be the one getting it first. Maybe
yeah,
not.
They need to get that jungle stacked and be able to try to clear those things out before Digital Chaos comes.
That's a
stack.
juicy stack.
That is a big stack.
Yeah.
Oh, a DD as well.
Are they
He
going to
might
have the
not get
space
it.
to safely take it, though? I think it'll be very difficult at this point.
It's only Sven who can farm it, and it's
Bulba
been
scouts
scouted
out
now.
the stack.
This is tricky, considering you've had this bad start. DC are probably feeling like they're strong enough to potentially contest that one.
If they steal the stack, the game will be pretty much over for VGJ.
And they haven't got the best heroes to steal it with.
Oh, he's in range.
Oh no! Pull back.
The Burrow Strike follow-up, perfectly executed. RTK still does get the Fissure off, but not going to save his life. Ubu setting things up from the trees, and this is likely going to be some good damage on this top tier 1 tower. Possibly with some nukes, may even be able to take this tower with the next creep wave. VGJ just looking very flat. I mean, their support's definitely limited what they can do, but we're just seeing even the cores just kind of statically sit in their lanes, and DC just come kill after kill, find pick after pick in this game, much like the previous one.
Wow.
Oh, Bulba wanted the double stun.
Oh, he gets to the shrine, but there's still damage coming in. Abed's now rotated as well, has a Laguna Blade, won't get in range for it, and with the TP in from Ursa, looks like Bulba is being left to the wolves.
Oh, Sam, you should have just, you know,
Stun one.
Stun the Wisp.
Yeah, just kill the there was a free kill on the Wisp for sure there, but wanted the flashy play.
Got greedy.
Now, one thing for Lina's build, he went for phase boots. Really smart of him. They don't have anything to catch him with. They can't initiate. They need to get close, so that extra movement speed will help him just to dodge the ganks.
Oh. DC are kind of in the process of chipping out and taking 3 towers. The top lane by Weaver alone, the bottom lane by Timber, and Lina there does get the mid tower. So all 3 towers being pressured. That's when you know your lanes are going incredibly well. Bulba just watching the shrine go, saying, "What you doing there?" There's an Echo Slam. They want to get 4 of 4 of actually will go down, gets solo killed by ROTK. Too aggressive from the Korean offlane player. Bit of a misplay there, but not the end of the world for DC's early game.
You know, while we've had 2 deaths on the DC side so far, what I do like is, you know, 4K support players take note. Like, Bulba he hasn't shown in lane like almost at all. He's almost always playing off the map. So the cores from VGJ never really see him. They don't really know where he is. He gets the kill on top on the Earthshaker, immediately moves mid.
Are you taking notes, Jack?
Jungle Venomancer cares not for your, words of wisdom.
Jack is always off the map as well, you know? He's always involved. He's basically Bulba. You don't know where he's going to appear.
Nowhere. Just gonna be in the jungle 3 spots and that's it.
What do VGJ need to be doing? Because this early game has not gone too friendly for them.
I love how happy Jack is actually. Look at him smiling because DC is actually winning this game, so he knows he can play those pubs faster.
No Chinese players that he has to translate for. Well, I mean, VGJ isn't actually, I guess, that far behind. You know, Ursa almost has his dagger. Can we see how far away ROTK is?
He has it.
ROTK's halfway.
Yeah, that solo kill on Forev probably did him a lot of good. And there was a Wisp there.
This is the danger, that DC overrun you before you get those blinks, since they are lineup reliant on them.
Yeah, that Ursa blink doesn't feel like it's enough unless they have a situation where they can.
Earthshaker needs his.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ursa can't go on Timber, can't go on Sanking, can't go on Weaver. So there's
Not
a
by itself. If
Lina,
they
maybe
bait,
a Rubik.
if they manage to bait a fight where they're going on someone else, then it's a possibility. I'm not sure Sven is going to go for that immediately. Perhaps not. So that would be a key point for them too.
Oh, this is nice. They see the Sven in the jungle. They immediately smoke to their ward.
No FY.
Oh.
Oh, the Roche, they know he's happening. They're ready to stop this one, and Roche will pop his nose out. Can Bulba get the stun off? Doesn't look like it.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Roche has been prevented.
But, you know, that's pretty good for VGJ.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty good
Smoke
defensive wards right now. They've got up to protect like their jungle, all those entry areas. You have to worry about going there, especially if DC are going to take this strategy of kind of moving us forward while Mason tries to split push towers and gets his farm up. So, pretty nice answer there for if you're VGJ. And DC, you have to know that some of these spots are warded, and so you either have to smoke and go over there together, which makes it kind of obvious if it's just Mason showing.
Well, this
Or
is
they have to-
very obvious right
Yeah,
now.
or they're going to have to start
Yep.
dewarding some of these before they get a chance to make these rotations.
Well, we'll take out the Observer Ward and the Sentry. Radiant Vision still prevails around those Ancients, so they will know if VGJ go for it.
Wow, Wisp is so poor. He has a bottle only. 15 minutes in.
Has got the levels, but Relocate doesn't feel all too useful right now with no Earthshaker Blink Dagger. You don't have that good setup.
Just getting close.
He's very close.
He's very close, actually. Picked up 900 gold in like the last 2 minutes.
For pressuring top, and see what VGJ can get out of that Blink Dagger when it does come out, because that is really the true test for them.
It's gonna be very difficult still because it feels like I feel like they're gonna need to get a kill with like 1 round of spells, like with the Earthshaker combo, and then say 1 round of the Ursa swiping at someone. Otherwise, like if there's a time lapse for the Weaver, if he's in the fight, if Timbersaw manages to get away, then the return on them would be very painful because you're not gonna have that second round. So, pretty tough situation for them to fight into still.
VGJ used the scan and got it correctly, so they tried to went around them, but nothing happened. And they got scouted by Bulba as well. I don't know if there's any ward. Yeah, there is 1 ward.
Dire's top tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower.
See if they look to take a fight now. Gak's gonna be the Ancients first, Freeze. Alright farm on him at this point, but Still Lina and Timbersaw leading the way. Echo Slam was heard. That was mid lane, RTK. Bringing down the Great Bulba, as that was Sam trying to farm his Blink Dagger. It looks like he was getting pretty close to it, so not a bad kill to take for VG Gaming.
Yeah, and that's RTK's reveal of the Blink Dagger. It's a pretty crucial kill there. Oh, and they're going to get another
Fissure
one.
on the wrong side, though. I don't know if they can get the kill. That Fissure,
Oh, they got him. They got him.
Couldn't tether to the low ground, or Timber Chain to the low ground. Does Mason go for the IO? No. Wants
Mason's
RTK
going
instead.
for RTK.
Yep. Couldn't get the IO with it, the relocate out. Now Sven goes in with the God's
disaster!
RTK coming up with some big plays. Bulba gets a 2-man stun, but it's just to try and get himself out of there. He's going to get chased down most likely. Blink from RTK. No, ooh, Fissure on the wrong side, but doesn't matter again as RTK. His Blink Dagger could not have come at a better time. Consecutive kills go VG Gaming's way.
And that's exactly what they needed. First they killed Sanking,
Oh,
now they killed him again.
He could have killed him.
Laguna and a couple right clicks there.
Yeah.
Laguna Blade, a couple right clicks.
But I mean, I sort of understand. He's like close to Bloodstone. You don't know.
Yeah, you don't want to kill anyone before Bloodstone. You want to save those kills when you get it.
No, I mean he's close to Bloodstone. He doesn't know if there's another hero behind him or whatever. And at the end of the day, it's just an ogre.
He has to assume that if the ogre's like that, there's someone behind him. Then again, for Fenrir, that's not really been the case this game. So.
Damn, Jack. Throwing shade at Fenrir?
No, not like that.
Okay. Okay.
We'll see what
we've seen
Fenrir
Fenrir
has to
play
say
better.
about your jungle venom answer.
We've seen Fenrir play better. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's been not his finest performance. Tough game for him, but he will smoke up with RTK. Relocate not up just yet for the IO, but there we go. It just came up that second, and that's what they were waiting for this smoke, knowing that all they need is one stun to initiate, and then the +2, the cavalry can arrive. They'd love to kill Mason's Weaver. He is one of the more problematic cores to deal with at this point, but doesn't look like they'll find him right away. Great map awareness.
Do you think you can
Mason.
gank Mason? That guy is a top 3 TI. Oh god.
Well, you can't gank him this way.
That was channeling his inner TI. Top 3.
Are they actually standing there questioning him? Like, what did you just do?
Oh man.
Mason
I
knew his
just
fight.
want to point out what happened
Face
there.
of
You
regret.
think you can gank Mason. Right as you said that, Mason just finds his way to the lane and is just about to eat it, but
I just
the level there's got to be the level of tilt has got to be pretty high right now.
Top 3 at TI is apparently better than top 2. RTK could not find the Echo Slam.
It just feels bad because I know a lot of fans or a lot of Chinese fans are going to be harping on that because ROTK, they gave him a lot of crap for missing like ravages and stuff, and that was just another crucial
Gives away Fissure now.
missed ult.
it's just misspells all over the place. Abed misses his. Oh, RTK!
Not in the position he wants. In comes Sven with a God Strength, but he's getting kited
This is
around by
not-
this
yeah,
Timber.
They're fighting.
Timber's
They're fighting 3
getting
separate
low.
targets here. Like
yeah.
without the control, they're just split up onto different targets, and they're not going to bring any of them down.
Wisp is gonna come back soon.
No way to save
Get the
his
TP
life.
combo off! Nah, he's not even gonna go for it.
Goes for the tether. He's actually possibly going to survive with the Warcry. That bonus armor, I believe, saves his life there. Won't always be the case. I like that Mason's building a diffusal, wants to be able to get rid of that Warcry.
Yeah, that extra armor has been doing a lot of work in these fights. ROTK actually survived for so long in the middle of 3 heroes because he had that armor.
Yeah, it's armor, power, tread, strength, and he went for strength talent as well, so Earthshaker is so tanky right now.
Almost 2k HP on the Shaker.
You know, the cores of VG have actually been catching up. The net worth probably isn't as bad as it was. Yeah.
Stabilizing and slightly dipped from what it once was. DC haven't really been pressing their advantage to take further objectives or fights. It's been VGJ. doing
Yeah,
all right.
with the blinks up, it's not the easiest for them to try to crowd up or take an objective, and they do have to be careful when they show and there's no one there. I mean, assuming no more echo incidents like we just saw, their heroes are very vulnerable to that kind of burst.
Yeah, that stuff doesn't happen twice in one game.
I
So
mean,
he's
you
good.
say that.
You're really trying to jinx
Did I
it now.
just jinx it?
Now, there's a Death Slider on the air side, the Owie build.
Well, it's a good build. Good build. They lack some tower damage once Sven ulti is down, and it's good burst.
Well, with ages now, VGJ maybe continue to look to make some plays. They've got the initiation, the relocate follow-up, and this is not an easy game to play for DC at this point. They've got good, reliable stuns to control this Weaver from the Shaker, and good burst damage from both Sven and Ursa.
Yeah, once Shaker gets that Shadow Blade, it's gonna be a real problem for DC. The positioning from Shaker will be so much better. And Ursa can go in aggressively. He has Aegis up, plus ulti, plus relocate. Can make a lot of space for Shaker to get a good ulti off.
See, to queue up the BKB as his next purchase. There is the Diffusal completed.
Yeah, I love the build on Timbersaw. After that Ursa, going for Deso. He goes for Medallion to just get some extra armor against Sven and Ursa.
Great item this game. Armor and evasion.
Might be, I'd love to see somebody pick up a halberd
Just thinking
on the DC side.
Thinking the same, like does Timber even go for it himself? Get it with the Solar Crest?
Yeah, they don't really have a great halberd carrier. Maybe the Rubik.
That's a lot of farm for Dubu was like
Dubu 2K net worth Rubik. Go for the
Yeah.
halberd, dude.
Dubu's like the 6-7 position support player. He never gets farm in any of their games.
Maybe the Sand King, actually.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
Are fortified.
I don't think it's all too bad on the Timbersaw as well.
I think 4 staff is still a better option on Sanking to get out of the position, especially against 4 melee heroes.
Alright, Forev, get the...
We kited around here. The Shrine going to be used, but they have to run away from it.
Oh,
Great stun.
Bulba God!
Bulba comes up big. A defensive Echo Slam. RTK gets another stun on the Timber Chain through. They're going to lose the Weaver here, and VG Gaming are crumbling. Forev does not manage to chase down the Shaker who blinks away, but it doesn't really matter. This fight is going...
Oh
Bulba!
my God!
Is this DC or is this Team
Be
Bulba?
God.
Multiple hero stun after multiple hero stun. Bulba.
Bulba gets a
big.
triple hero stun, then a double hero stun into Epicenter.
Beautiful.
Wow, the next few minutes will be hard to fight for VGJ. Dubu stole the war cry.
Alright,
That's
so
the best thing he can steal.
That's actually an insane spell.
I've got it. You know what?
You have a plan?
You know why? You know why we're seeing this out of Bulba? And he plays pretty well online, and usually on the offline events,
Yeah.
doesn't look that great. It's
But
because he's boot camped here before. This is like his home. It's
Okay.
just in a chill ass house.
Nice.
There's no pressure.
Just needs
I
to
have another
boot camp
theory.
on the TI main stage now.
I have another theory. So one of the nicknames for Bulba from some Chinese fans, who maybe it's distractors, is that it's kind of like connections, bro. As in they think that he must be really well connected because he keeps making his way onto really good teams and stuff. So he's just showing them right now. It's not about the connection. The man can play.
yeah, is this over?
Yeah, this is over.
That fight, VG Gaming were just all over the place.
Bulba buying a mango in enemy base.
We've talked about in the recent past, at least. We've liked some of DC's drafts, but their execution maybe has been shaky from game to game. But I think these two games they've played really well. Like both games, they have softer cores. They need more intricate execution, whether it's comboing or kiting, to be able to pull things off. And I think they've done pretty well both games. So I do have to give them some credit for that.
Yeah, I do want to say though that I think VG got clearly outdrafted in this series. It's like these are pretty, I would say from the DC side at least, more straightforward games to win, just because, well, there is a team
One
fight
last
going on.
hurrah. Perhaps they're just kind of melting to the Timbersaw damage, and again, Bulba.
That diffusal
Epicenter.
blade doing the thing.
Yeah. multiple hero stuns. And VG Gaming, second team, sorry, eliminated from the summit. They're going to be packing their bags as they are taken out by Bulbous, Sand and the boys from Digital Chaos.
As Charlie mentioned, this is really an outdraft. We saw it yesterday when Navi was picking heroes. These heroes don't synergize well, especially in the early game. You need to win early game to win the mid game. It's hard to come back right now in this patch. I mean, it's still possible, but you need to play it perfectly, have a good heroes to do it. You can't really have no initiation hero whatsoever and rely on just the enemy team making a mistake.
Feels like everyone in DC performed very well in this game. Mason's Weaver, flawless both games. Bulbous, Sand King.
Bulbous and the MVP of this series, definitely. Look at him.
I think it's become very clear in this patch. The path to victory is have good lanes, win your lanes, and then after that period you need to make sure that you have a way to take successful team fights with some sort of initiation plus vision. And that's sort of the name of the game now.
How far do you guys think DC can go? They managed to knock out VG Gaming, but this is a team that's looked pretty shaky, lost to Navi, didn't look very compelling there, didn't look very compelling here. Is this DC team really a top contender, or are they just easy opposition?
Who do they play next?
Depends, yeah.
Might be either VP or who's the other team that lost? Maybe we can take a look at our brackets and get an eye on that, but I think it's either VP or the other team who lost. Navi, maybe? One of those two.
They play VP.
Ooh.
Oh, that's gonna be a good series.
That's unfortunate for DC, because VP is a team that typically likes to run at you, and I think it's harder for DC to deal with that pressure.
Okay. See how that game goes. Those low bracket matches will not be until tomorrow. We're going back to the upper bracket. LGD versus Team Secret will be our next and final series of the day. We'll know who one of our grand finalists is going to be before we round out day number 3. Do we have any DC players? Neighborhood? No, they're heading out. I don't know where they went to. But see if they maybe will be coming down. Grab a quick word from maybe the Great Bulb after that Sand King or any of their guys. So you think VP is going to be tough? Match coming up, Secret LGD. You guys looking forward to that one?
Yeah, absolutely. Both teams look really good right now. Secret's on a pretty hot streak. I think they're definitely feeling good together. When you see them, you definitely get the sense that they got that mojo going. You know, they're on the cast here, all casting together. They feel good with each other. I think they have a lot of confidence. So you know they're on the up and up, and I think a Secret that's on the up and up is hard to beat.
Okay.
And LGD, well, the meme goes that the joke has kind of been that it's almost like the Chuck Norris a little bit. It was like LGD is predetermined, TI7 champions or TI8 champions or whatever. There's been a lot of optimism about the team as well. Recently, they've done well in qualifiers with LFY, and so I think this team probably surprised people initially with their upper bracket run, and have to wonder if they do very well at this tournament. Say if they win this tournament, is that going to be enough to get them a direct invite to TI? So I'm excited to watch them keep playing, and maybe known as one of the stronger mid players for a long time. I think this patch is pretty good for him. It's featured him when they've been able to protect him, so maybe that'll continue to be a good thing going forward. Maybe versus mid one, always fun to watch.
Okay.
I love how Secret is playing right now. They're not afraid to test new stuff, and even if they lose the game, they adapt very, very quickly to what hit them. So actually, Team Secret becoming one of my favorite teams, to be honest. Gotta say it.
Yeah, I have them as my favorite to win this tournament right now.
All right. Well, they're playing good Dota. We'll see if they can continue. Good Dota, good casting from them. They're up next. They're taking on LGD. It looks like DC have head out after winning their match. We'll see if we can get them on a bit later, but we're going to take a break, come back with that winner bracket final. It's LGD taking on Team Secret.